Uncomfortable indictment. We have lost cultural power.
Well, yeah, I think it's a pretty complex question, really, because so much of culture creation is just simply critical mass. If you have enough people, wearing hats, suddenly everybody wears hats. And then somebody else stops wearing a hat if they're high enough profile, and people stop wearing hats. It's almost follow the leader kind of thing.
Well, we certainly did more meaningful things historically.
Well, yeah, education, for instance.
Hospitals,
Yeah.
Universities.
Wilberforce, Wilberforce influenced culture for the entire world with his fight against slavery.
Now, when you say Wilberforce, I mean, wow. I think some people think, I am not prepared. I am not even capable of investing the time, the stick-to-itiveness, the sacrifice that he made to make a difference. But as our guest has said in this report, you don't have to be a Wilberforce to be salt and light, to influence your culture.
Yeah. Well, I really think where the bottom line of cultural influence begins is in the home. And I think that the ultimate culture shapers are the parents. I really do.
I agree.
Parents, you sit around that table with your kids, and if you have a kind of an open relationship and you can talk about anything without anybody feeling that they've got to be defensive, you can really influence. Like I remember, when our kids were growing up, this was before it became politically correct not to smoke cigarettes, for instance. And we were just back from Israel, and my kids were, just sort of relearning Canadian culture because they were Israelis at that point in time. And they were talking about how so many of their peers were smoking cigarettes. Well, instead of going ballistic on the danger it was to one's health, we just kind of talked about it rationally and reasonably, and pros and cons and all that kind of stuff. And my kids made their own decision. Well, we're not going to smoke cigarettes. Well, the fact is that a lot of kids were making that decision at that time. And then the television ads came in, showing the evil effects of cigarette smoke on lungs and all of that kind of stuff. And eventually,
just reinforced.
Now everybody's outside. If they're smoking, they're outside smoking, not inside, because it's not correct anymore in our culture to smoke in public.
Seems very trivial, but I loved what you said to your boys when they were thinking about tattoos.
What did I say to them? Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I said, well, sure, you want to have a tattoo? That's fine. If you want to wear the same T-shirt for the rest of your life, go for it, I mean, at some point, you get tired of that thing you got written on you, I mean, and who wants to be, a graffiti wall for, some substandard artist anyway? But anyway, that's another
Okay, we got ourselves into lots of trouble in that moment. But what I love is that you didn't dictate.
No.
You shall not.
No.
You just gave them a perspective.
Well, when I was about 14, I wanted to be a hood. You remember hoods?
Like a biker bad guy?
Yeah, bro-creamed hair, leather jacket.
Yeah, but behavior too.
No, I just wanted to look
just
like
look.
I just wanted to look like one of these guys. I was really
kind of the Fonz.
I was a Fonz kind of guy. I had hair in those days. I used to comb it.
And you put bro cream in it or something.
I put bro cream in it. I used to walk around with a comb in my back pocket.
Oh man, have you got a picture you could bring in?
Yes.
Please, come on, show and tell. I'd love to see that.
But my dad, so what's my dad do? My dad's a preacher. Instead of giving me trouble about this, first of all, I bought my own leather jacket with my Globe and Mail paper route money and my babysitting money. And then I wanted one of these skull belts, these nasty skull belts. So my dad bought me one, gave it to me. So what does that tell me? Be a hood, Jim, I trust you.
Wow.
I mean, and it's amazing the influence that trust has in influencing culture. I mean, I don't want to be a philosopher.
Wow, this is going lots of places we didn't expect. But
the fact
but this is the beginning place. Is parenting? It's the home. It's the modeling.
Yeah.
It's as you say, conveying trust.
Yeah.
And,
and I really think sometimes we overreact to kind of spikes, in cultural behavior. Things come and things go. And
hold the rope too tightly.
Yeah, like I remember preachers getting their shorts in a knot over guys having long hair. I heard sermons against long hair. Sermons, yes, against long hair, against beards.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's silly to chase these rabbits, down these various rabbit holes. What you do from a Christian perspective is just focus on the non-negotiables. And what are the non-negotiables? Well, they all focus on Jesus. Jesus lived, he died, he was buried, He rose again. He appeared. He ascended. He's coming again. Those are the non-negotiables, and so much else that has kind of cultural ramifications. You just need to relax.